still like the world, and we will not give up on them for expedience sake. For I do fear we are giving up on them for expedience sake. When we pull back and look at what this document has done, it rewrote the relationship of the people and their leaders forever. The history of citizens' rights is before and after the document. The fathers, the men, yes, they were all men, who wrote and signed this document were far from perfect. Listen, there's a really racist Native American line on here, and I'm apologizing in advance for it. It's bad. And yes, our history is riddled with hypocrisy. The Declaration does not address the 20% of the population that were enslaved. The Native Americans were not even considered part of the population, and women who were not citizens, unable to vote, own property, or sign a legal document. As Angelica says in Hamilton, we better be in the sequel. And Nicole Hannah-Jones reminds us, our documents, our democracy's founding ideals were false when they were written. Black Americans have fought to make them true. Yes, Americans, like Black Americans in the civil rights movement, have fought and sacrificed our entire history for this document to live up to its promise. As Americans, our job today is to make sure that we fulfill the promise that this is a living document and not history, because I'm really worried it's becoming history. The Declaration of Independence. And in Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 Steps of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume the laws of the powers of the earth, the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men, people, are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving that their just powers from the consent of the governed. Whenever they form a government, whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate the governments long established should not change for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer when evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms in which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right and duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards of their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and now is the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injustices and usurpations, all having in direct the establishment of an absolute tyranny over the states. To prove this, let facts be submitted in a candid world. He has refused to assent the laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good, like ignoring important decisions about immigration. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation, till a assent should be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them, like suing Kathy Hochul over laws New York State supports. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people unless these people would relinquish the right of the representation in the literature, a right esteemable to them and affordable to tyrants only, like calling up our representatives and threatening them if they don't vote with us. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures, like voting in the middle of the night and taking away everybody's health care. He has dissolved representation houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasion on the rights of people.
Spewing ignorance. When you see people misstating facts, make sure to correct them. Do not let them get away with lying. It is critical that we have those important conversations. But there's something that I'm going to ask you today that I think is more difficult than that. And that is, do not despair and do not mourn. We are in a period of instability. We are in a period of decline. But here's the truth of it. History is always the most difficult when you don't have the benefit of hindsight. Every generation has felt that the world was ending. From the earliest days of the United States of America, there have been rebellions. There have been depressions. There have been days where it looked like our republic would not survive, and this is no different. But you know what the Republicans do really well? They keep fighting. For many of them, when Joe Biden won, they wholeheartedly believed that the United States was descending into a communist dictatorship. Now, we all know that that's insane. But for them, they truly believed it. But what they did was they got back up and they made sure that Donald Trump became the president of the United States. We can take a lesson from that. If we have any hope of progressing, we need to keep moving forward. The fight isn't lost in DC, the fight is lost when good people decide to do nothing. And so what we are going to keep doing is showing up. We are going to keep having those conversations. We are going to make it clear, for as much as Donald Trump wants us to believe that he is invulnerable, that he is a dictator, that he is a king, that he can do whatever he wants without recourse or pushback, we are going to keep pushing back, we are going to keep fighting back, and we are going to keep showing up. The best way to celebrate July 4th, the best way to celebrate July 4th is to get into that revolutionary spirit. And I'm not saying we need to overthrow government, I'm saying we need to protect the one that we have. We are not going to give in to despair because that is what Donald Trump and his minions want. They want us scared, they want us sad, they want us depressed, they want us to believe that there is no way to beat them. And so the best form of resistance is to make sure that we are waking up every morning and rededicating ourselves to protecting and strengthening our democracy. So thank you all for being here. I want to introduce my friend Shoshana Hershkowitz. Many of you know her. She's been fighting out here for many years, and I'm glad to stand alongside her.
Hey, everybody, can you hear me? All right, say this with me, because you got to take this home and believe it. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. We love the people united will never be defeated. Say it again.
The people united will never be defeated.
One more time.
The people united will never be defeated.
We have got to believe that. And here's what I'm going to say to you. This whole thing that went down, it is so incredibly craptastic. It is horrible, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. But we have the ability to fight back. And the good news that we have is we live in New York State. And New York State is a blue state. New York State is a wealthy state. We have the resources. We have the amendment to our Constitution. And we have a governor who's running for re-election next year, and we need to tell Kathy Hochul, put your money where your mouth is and fight back. We have a state legislature up for re-election next year. I want to say, we are done with centrist Democrats who run as Republican light. Are you with me? So when we see people step up to run for the Assembly, for the Senate, for the county legislature, for the town board, we are not going to accept Republican light any longer. Are you with me? Be a Democrat or a Working Families Party member who fights fascism, or get the hell out of our way. So, you're gonna go home today. You might indulge in some barbecue or like some vegan stuff, whatever, you do you. But understand, this fight has just begun. And we are gonna lean into New York. We're gonna lean into the protections we have. We've got Prop 1, and we are gonna lean in, we are gonna fight, and we are going to demand that our elected officials and the people running for office have the same spine, the same fire, and the same righteous anger that we do. And if they don't, run against them. Yes. All right. So,
I don't know who's next. I'm going to pass this back to Jen because that took a lot of energy and I'm tired. So keep fighting, keep showing up, and keep challenging anyone running for office, red or blue, because any blue will not do when we're fighting actual fascists. Hi, everyone. All right, we're going to do another chant. What does democracy look like?
This is what democracy looks like.
What does democracy feel like?
This is what democracy feels like.
What does democracy sound like?
This is what democracy sounds like.
Woo! Thank you!
So first of all, I meant to before, I just want to, can we all give a round of applause to Jennifer for organizing this today? You know, it's hard to put yourself out there and organize a rally, so I appreciate everyone who takes the time to make events like this happen, so really, thank you for doing this. I also want to introduce to you Garrett Peterson, the Deputy Chair of the Islip Democrats, who came up to join us today and has a few words for you.
Hold on, in flip-flops. I don't want to fall. All right. How's it going, everybody? We don't have one on the South Shore today, so I decided to come up and join all you guys on this actually really nice 4th of July. And you know, Shoshana and Skylar both really kind of touched on a lot of the things that I think we need to say, and I want to just take a second, you know, and reflect. You know, Skylar said that we have been in a crisis as a country before, we've been in a crisis as a nation before. You know, he's right, and it's worth remembering that the darkest period in our history, the Civil War, literally turned on 4th of July week in 1863. The twin blows of the Union victories at Vicksburg and Gettysburg ended slavery in North America forever and set us on a path of equality and freedom. All Union soldiers at Gettysburg, the second day, Little Round Top, fixed bayonets and charged downhill for freedom, for democracy, for the right of all men to be created equal. And I say everybody here has to take that spirit in them. I'm not asking anybody to do a bayonet charge though, like that's silly. But if a bunch of young kids in 1863 could put their lives on the line for freedom then I think everybody here can stand up loud and proud and get in the fight to save democracy in 2025. And listen, we're going to send Lolota and Sleepy Andrew Garbarino down by me into retirement in 2026. Hopefully somebody progressive gets that race in 2026. Garbarino, wink, wink. But it's important to remember that the way we do that is by beating the crap out of the Republicans on Long Island this year. Local elections are up this year, okay? And we have the opportunity to kneecap them now before the races in 2026. If national organizations come and look and they see in Long Island and they see half a dozen or a dozen Republican incumbents wiped out on the local level in 2025 because of grassroots efforts from every one of you, then they're going to say, well, damn, we should invest in Long Island. And then we can get a year on Long Island like 2018 was, or better. All right? It is within each and every one of us. It's hard sometimes looking around and knowing that right now the Republicans hold most of these offices. But 10 years ago, the opposite was true. There haven't been that many people who have moved off Long Island. Our voters are there. They just need to know that we're going to fight for each and every one of them. And that means not throwing anybody under the bus. We don't throw immigrants under the bus. We don't throw trans people under the bus. We don't throw anybody under the bus. We stand together. The shield wall only protects all if everybody is protected. So everybody here, I need you to get in the fight and fight for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, now I want to speak. My name is Tamara Bigel, and I stand up for our individuals with disabilities.